Stampers and Crafters, coming to you today with a quickie video. I've been recently doing a series of videos on Stampin Blends 101, how to use them, how to color with them, how to blend, some different techniques, yada yada yada. Well, I've been getting multiple requests, and since my series only comes out once a week, I wanted to squeeze this one in between so that if you need to maintenance your marker prior to one of the classes we're doing, then you can do that. So, our Stampin' Blends marker, as you know, comes with a bullet tip and what I call a feather tip. Sometimes, now I use my markers, I'm going to say almost every day, and the bullet tip, not so much. That holds up really well. Okay, it's a nice tip, it's firm, and it holds up really well. Sadly, and probably, not Stampin' Up's fault, I'm sure it's the manufacturer, but these feather tips, I don't know if you can see this, but they kind of get just a little bit frayed after some use. Sorry, I have ink all over me from doing this today. But they tend to get a little frayed. Now, although the Stampin' Blend markers to replace a set is very inexpensive, but, in comparison, in comparison to what a Spectrum Noir marker or a Copic marker itself or, any of the other alcohol markers out there, they are really expensive. Now, Stampin' Up's marker, to me, they are quality, except for this little tip that keeps going bad on me. And Stampin' Up does not offer replacement tips like a normal Copic or Spectrum Noir, because mainly their markers are so affordable that it probably isn't cost effective. But I have a trouble throwing away a marker that works perfectly good, but all it needs is this little tip. Call me frugal. So I'm going to show you today what I do to fix this tip and also how I rejuvenate my markers. Meaning sometimes your markers maybe you left your lid off and it got dried out a little and you're like, oh, I just ruined it. No, you didn't, and there's still plenty of ink in there. Inside of here is a cartridge that holds the blend alcohol ink in here, and that's what moves it from end to end, and that's why you want to store them laying down sideways so that that ink will distribute throughout the marker. Now, I have tried several, and I have not been able to find any until just recently. A friend of mine told me about them. Thank you, Carol. Copic has the classic brush tip replacements. Okay, I'll put a link to where I found these. You get 3 tips for, I think it's $7. And the only thing you have to do on these, I'm going to take one out. And these, because of the way Copic is made, has a little metal like frame or clip on it. Just simply pull that apart and slide it off the marker. You don't need this for the Stampin' Blend. So we're going to slide that off. Then I'm going to take a pair of tweezers and I'm going to grab toward the bottom of my tip and I'm going to slide it out. Okay, it's that simple. Now, I set that aside. To rejuvenate, I add Adirondack's alcohol blending solution. I have had this bottle like forever and it's still, I don't know, a third of the way full. And I've had it for years. So what I do when I'm going to do this tip, or if I accidentally dry out my marker, I leave the tip off, is I am just going to take this, it has a real fine tip on it, and I'm going to add about 1, 2, 3 drops. That is probably all you'll need to rejuvenate your marker. Just drop it right in the hole there where the tip was. And it'll go into that chamber where that insert is. And then when I'm replacing the tip, I actually put some of the solution on the tip itself just to saturate it. Maybe 3 or 4 drops. I'm trying to just make sure it's saturated before I put it back in the marker, and that will help draw the ink out of that chamber piece. So you're going to take the smaller end. Okay, you have a little brush end here, and then you have more of a kind of nubby solid end. Okay, we're going to take that nubby solid end, and we're just going to push that tip. It's going to fit tight. Okay, it's going to fit tight. Just push it down in there. Want to make sure it's all the way in there. And you're going to end up with a tip about that far. You could pull it out just a little bit if you need to, but you really don't. And that's going to ensure that where that went in, it's going to touch that ink chamber in there. Okay? Now, we've already added some solution to rejuvenate. Now, I know some people that actually try to put our re-inkers in these pens and use regular alcohol. I'm going to say that might work temporarily, but it's a whole different ink. As far as I know. Okay, I guess I shouldn't quote that verbatim. And adding regular alcohol, 99%, will work, but the only difference between 99% alcohol and this blending solution is this has alcohol and it also has glycol. Okay, it's like a glycol is, if you look it up, it is actually a blending solution. A lot of people use the glycol with colored pencils to use to blend with their colored pencils. That's what glycol is. So this is actually a mix of alcohol and glycol. And that'll work twofold because one, it'll keep the alcohol from evaporating so quickly, and it also adds a smoothness to the marker for blending because you want to be able to blend these, and it keeps the alcohol wet and allows you to blend out your color as you're coloring. So that is it. But what I do now I've got that new feather tip in there, I'm going to make sure I shake it up really good, and then what I may do is I'm going to store it with the feather tip down in a little container for maybe an hour or so. Let that ink go down to that tip and saturate it. So just store it like that. I did this one this morning. Oh, no, that's not the one I did. Where's the one I did? There it is. And they work right away. So, you know, it's just kind of, you just got to give it a chance to. There's one of the new tips there. See there? So, it's a lot cheaper. You're gonna get 3 tips for $7. And this, I think, I'll look it up, see what it is, and see if I can put a link to it, like to Amazon or something, for both of these. But you'll get like 3 times the life out of these markers. I love the markers. I love that they match with Stampin' Up. I love the way they work, their saturation, their they're beautiful. They're great markers, except for that one little quirky thing that bothers me. I know people out there can take a pair of scissors and trim their tips and everything, but I do a lot of coloring, so I just don't see how trimming that tip's going to get me what I need. So I just wanted to stop by. I'm going to give you the links to these off of Amazon. Entirely up to you, because I think you can buy, you know, for a set of, 2 markers, $9 is pretty cheap. So, but we don't want to throw away things that are still good. We want to try to make them live. Now, I'm hoping that Stampin' Up! Will actually come out with some replacement tips. It would be nice. Maybe sell some in groups like this. But they don't yet. So, here's a solution. Hope you enjoyed today's quickie kind of tutorial. And I hope you have a very happy Stampin' Day. Don't forget, sign up for my Stampin' Blends 101 class. We have a 6-part series. I'm teaching Stampin' Blends and alcohol markers, how to blend, how to chart them, how to do different techniques. I hope you'll join me. So hit subscribe on my blog, and you'll get an update every Monday morning of the new tutorials. So I hope you have a happy Stampin' Day and stay safe out there. Bye-bye now.